All right, so Andy has technical difficulties. Here is a quick ballad of Andy being lost. Andy.
What is happening? I can't.
Andy, you don't want to know, for I cannot sing, and yet sing I do, for we have lost you. Sing to me, Calliope, muse of epic poetry, of the dice, and the building blocks beneath the map. Sing of the creations and the crafting. They make themselves stars in their own world. Welcome to FanDive. My name is Chaos.
And my name is Andy.
And today, it's kind of a 2-for-1 topic, but the main thing we're here to talk about is Misadventures SMP.
We're talking about the D&D-ness of Minecraft.
The D&D of the SMP.
The D&D of SMPs.
Now, listen, we need to do that whole, maybe not everyone knows what we're talking about, because apparently not everyone knows what we're talking about. Like, what do you mean? You're not on the same brain wavelength or whatever?
Yeah, you guys can't read minds through a screen? What are you talking about?
So, Misadventures is LDshadowladys, aka Lizzie, her own personal SMP that she's kind of set up to be directly inspired by D&D and has brought in a lot of people, largely from Empires, but also people from the wider MCYT community to come in and play in this world. And so the world is going to be actively evolving because characters and players can go out and create their own stories, but they can also create their own structures to have dungeons, aka Dungeons and Dragons, that future players can run.
So it is a vanilla Minecraft server, but they do have things added on, similar to the way Hermitcraft is vanilla, but there's like extra things. That way they can create these dungeons. They're building these cities, these structures that they can go in and get points and coins and level up and get new skills, and they create these characters and create this environment as if they are both the players and the dungeon master of a D&D game, and they get to run each other's stories. Hypothetically, we're only a little bit into the series right now.
Yes, but I love how it was immediately like, okay, we're going to set off and start our own adventure. And some people bought like pre-made houses to just kind of get settled. And like the resource world is the only place they can like really interact with blocks. There's 2 separate worlds that these characters are in. The main one that we see and where their stories are being told is roughly adventure mode. And the other side is the resource world where they can go and do all the vanilla Minecraft stuff. And the resource world resets every day, so like if you want a material that's kind of hard to get and doesn't replenish, instead of going out and building farms, you can just go get all the resources and then come back the next day to get more of those resources, even though you depleted that the day 1.
Yeah, they don't want to build farms. They don't want it to look like a big farm. How do I describe it? They don't want it to be a populated Minecraft SMP in the typical way, where they will have the farm covered up by the skyscraper. I'm talking about you, Joel, Smallish Beans. But they want it to be more fantasy. What area of fantasy? That's really up to the individual building their areas, but they are building towns, not farms and stuff. That's what the resource world is for. That's where you get your things.
Yeah, so you come in, you either can buy a house to just like have a place to put down stuff, or you can go off into the woods and just buy an empty plot of land. You get money by running dungeons, and then you can say, I'm going to put my house here. And, you know, as I mentioned before, Start of the World, people are kind of like splitting off into either you stay in the town or you go off into the woods. And I love how immediately there's this one group that went, we could start a totally not cult out here.
So I have opinions about that. I think it was inevitable because for those who are more aware of Hermitcraft and Empires SMP, you should be familiar with these 2 people called Rendog and Mythical Sausage. And I've not really seen the 2 of them interact a whole lot, but if you know anything about their individual previous storylines, I felt as if this was kind of inevitable. They just got really quick at, we've met each other. Do you want to make a cult? I'll call myself, Brother Dong.
Yes. So the theme of the cult was the dinging sound. Anytime they entered into a new area, it's like ding, you're in the wilderness, ding, you're in the town, ding, you're in this dedicated land space that someone has purchased. And they decided that their whole thing was going to be running back and forth between the boundaries of where their area starts and where the wilderness starts. And it's just ding, 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 ding. And Lizzie at one point was like, yeah, I was thinking of kind of turning that off. And I was like, no, you can't. We become attached.
They become emotionally attached to the noise. It's not even a name. They just made a cult around the singular noise. It's great. It's very in character. It's to the detriment of everyone around them.
Listen, they got all the theater kids together and all the kids who know D&D and went, yep, that will be a totally normal situation.
D&D and Minecraft have always had that sort of parallel between them, because they are both about creating your own character and world and seeing what you want to do with it. It's that sandbox-esque gameplay, and they're both in kind of different ways, but I've seen this kind of world before, not exactly built like this, but there's always been this create your own adventure-ness to Minecraft SMPs, and Misadventures is a great name for that experience.
What? Oh my god. Lizzie mentioned previously, it was like there was a server before this that was like kind of the trial run. Was that Kingdom? That wasn't Kingdom Craft. What am I thinking of?
That was a while ago.
Whatever came before Empire's SMP was meant to be like the trial run for Misadventures.
I couldn't tell you for certain. I'm sorry.
Yes,
didn't do enough research beforehand.
Unknown thing, maybe Kingdom Craft, maybe not. Then we had Empire's SMP, which again very much played up that whole like, oh, you're in the world and you're not so much building like you're playing Minecraft, you're building like you're living in this world. And then we have Misadventures, which really leans heavily into that D&D dungeon running aspect.
Yeah. I've loved what people have done so far, because you do have such variety, and the people who lean more into roleplay, and then the people who are like, well, I'm here. I'm gonna build a place for other people to roleplay. You get the wider spectrum, and we have some newer faces. Many of them aren't that new, but like newer to Empire's group, I guess is how I'm gonna say it. So we got more people. Let's go. More creators to watch.
Yeah, I've been trying to edit the this is a little off topic, but I have a Discord that's literally built around like sending people notifications when someone uploads, and I'm like, oh, I've been needing to do a big overhaul of that, and now I'm like, who do I add for Misadventures versus the QSMP versus Hermitcraft versus the Life series, and how do I categorize them? And it's like, I love them all, but it's the list is growing, and it's like it's gonna become unmanageable very quickly.
Yeah, I am known, or at least I was at one point, for keeping up with so many different point of views, specifically Hermitcraft, but in Misadventures, I have to stick to my original core group of people, or I will get swamped trying to keep up.
Honestly, Misadventures, I'm just letting it happen to me. Like, if something shows up on my, like, oh yeah, someone uploaded, and I'm like, okay, I'll click on it. I'm like, I'm gonna be so real. Half the time, I'm not even fully aware of the context. For some reason, Shovel's a clown. And you know what? I love that for them.
Yeah, let's go!
I love that for them.
Let's go! She doesn't know the difference between justice and clown.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not super clownish, but we appreciate the effort.
Yeah. She's also a tailor.
That's adorable.
I know, she's been making skins for people. But speaking of trying to keep up with all the POVs, we have Hermitcraft recap. Now get ready for Misadventures recap. Somebody's doing it.
Yeah, I've been like desperate. It's like, okay, listen, there's this plot line, and then there's this plot line, and then there's a cult plot line. What I'm invested in, I'm gonna be completely honest, is just the act of building new dungeons. I'm so interested in like, yeah, you build this, and then it's going to be set into the lore of the world, and then NPCs are going to come in and like populate and like tell stories in the build that you made. Yeah. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, and so I will let you know now that my core group of people for Misadventures, I do branch out, has been Shovel, Jimmy, Solidarity Gaming, and Scots Major. Um, and let me tell you, the absolute difference in the Jester bringing the carnival to town, Bonita, Casita, um, and what's Scott doing? He made a little watchtower thingy.
Scott's just
I don't know
doing
if there's
his
a good
own
name for him.
thing.
He's making a town over there, and then over there is just whip whammy thwams. Don't know where that one came from, but Whip clearly made it.
I mean, it could be literally anyone else who just so happens to name their stuff after Fwip. I don't know.
No, I do know it's Whip. Yeah, I do know it's Whip. I did watch him make that, but I only did because somebody went, "Oh look, and it's Whip Whammy Thwams." And I went, "What's happening?" I love the diversity of storytelling. Somebody, is it Martin that's like clearing out a mountain and
I
putting a
think.
dungeon in it?
Oh, it might be a couple different people. But
A
yeah,
couple
there's
people.
definitely like, oh, you can't really touch this land unless you buy it. Okay, I bought it. I'm going to remove the mountain now. Like, okay,
Yeah, right.
sure.
Okay. Yeah, good for you. You have focused on this. This will be your content for the next few months. Good for you.
Yeah, we're going back to Pixel Rift, giant hole digging. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
okay.
back at
But
this again.
full circle. It always comes back to digging a really deep hole. It actually does, doesn't it, Chaos?
Well, that's the core of Minecraft. Not so much D&D, but while they're actively building up the D&D areas, they're going to be playing Minecraft.
No, actually, no. In D&D, I have dug a really big hole or come across really big holes a few too many times for it to be a coincidence.
I think someone
That
in
might
your
be a
world
me
is
issue.
playing with you.
That might be a me issue, actually. That might not be a D&D thing in general. I apologise.
I
But
know.
like all of the what's it called? The ruins of a bunch of buildings, the architecture ruins. They'll often be like a crater or something. It's just like a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Or a ravine.
All the ruins are very much giving me like Empire Season 2 flashbacks. And I know like Misadventures was already building up like, look at the graves for these emperors of long past. But I'm like, they have names from Season 1 and Season 2 and people who weren't like technically even there. And it's just like, I think the Red King has a grave next to like, it's crazy and I love it so much, but also like it's very clearly like not meant to be literal. You know that thing where like someone gets a monument in an area, it's like they never lived here, they never touched this place, but someone heard their story and wanted to build a monument for them. It's giving that.
Somebody said it in probably Mythical Sausages comments, but he is desperately like keeping the Empire's fandom still alive. It's not just him, but he makes so many references, and he was the one who built that dungeon called the Crypt. That was there when they started the world, because there was 2 towns, a couple mines, and 2 dungeons pre-made for everyone to start the world with. And Sausage had built the Crypt, which held graves. No, what's it called? The boxes people go in. Whatever. The bunch of those labeled with things such as the Old Sheriff, the Red King, what was the other ones? Goddess of Wheat. I don't know. That's not what it actually is. But they were referencing Empire's SMP and also Rendog. He's there too.
He's also there.
That's kind of how he is. It was great seeing some of the Empire's people go in there and be like, "Hey, that's me. Hey, that's me. Oh, I'm attacking me now.
That's me." I know it's like on the one hand, it's like, oh, when will Empire Season 3 be? Like, the fandom very much wants there to be another addition to Empire's
Yeah.
SMP. But at the same time, it's like,
Yeah.
the people who are, like, meant to be playing it, it's like, we need to take a break or else we're going to burn out and do the same story again. And, like, I've mentioned this before, going into a server with, like, preset lore in mind kind of kills the server. And so I feel like these little things in Misadventures is really like setting up. It's like, yes, people still care about this, just not right now. This is a later thing. Let's appreciate the past and focus on like, we're playing D&D and Minecraft now.
I don't think we need a season 3 of Empires.
I want a season 3.
I think that we can get just the same amount of content, but with more people and more creativity through SMPs such as Misadventures, where you get the core elements similar, if not the same, and more freedom at the same time. So, like in Empires, they would just keep the same core group of people, maybe plus or minus one or two individuals. Whereas here, we don't have just the Empire's people plus 2 or 3 individuals. We have the Empire's people and like a chunk of Hermitcraft and also a chunk of other SCPs that I've not watched before. I don't know who these people are, but Scott seems very familiar with them, so I'm just gonna nod and agree. We don't need a season 3 if we're still getting them creating content with each other and being creative in similar ways. I'm not gonna complain about that.
Yeah, I guess it's, I don't know. Like, Empires 1 was so good. And I think everyone's just like, oh, can we just have that again? I'm like, okay, let's watch a new POV of Empires then.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure somebody has gone through every single POV of both seasons and still gone, I want more. But you're never going to be able to recreate something exactly the same. And if you are trying to go for a very specific energy or vibe or whatever other adjective you want to use to describe it, you're not going to succeed. Something's going to go wrong, especially if you're doing it 3, 4, 5 times. 2 was hard enough to get similar energies. Once you start adding more, something's gonna get messed up in the process, gonna be a different, and then people will go, oh, that's different, it's not the same as it used to be, it should be better than this, and it's going to be the same complaints either way. So my personal opinion is just, I am all for the creators going, oh, you're not going to be able to do that again, that was fantastic, let's try something more.
Let's try something more. And maybe Lizzie's been playing some Baldur's Gate. Well, Lizzie, okay, a lot of MCYC people play D&D. I would love to be like, let's just organize an MCYT D&D group. We have Lizzie and Jem and Ollie and like all these like the people that we know and love from different servers get together and they play D&D. Like Zombie Cleo will DM it. It'll be amazing. It's like, I think that. And then we take the energy and put it into Minecraft, and that is how we get Misadventures.
Yeah. So that's what the season finale is they actually meet up in real life and play a really big tabletop
And then we have Robo Cleo just up on the screen. It's a very like, this will be perfect. Everyone has minis, but it's just like a 3D print of their Minecraft skin. It would be adorable.
Get that one person who's made 3D prints of Empires and Scar's base.
Oh my god, yes. And it'll be like, and you design the sets.
Please.
I've actually been loving Ollie the Orion Sounds like Baldur's Gate run. I'm gonna be so real, I'm so not interested in Baldur's Gate. Like, I get why people like it, but I'm so much more like, I need to actually play D&D. But it's like watching Ollie play it, it's like, yes, you bring something to this that I feel like it's missing from the actual game.
Yeah, well, Ollie brings something to every table.
Ollie brings... Yeah.
Probably music. Probably something with music. But sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you join in and he's chanting about snails again, I guess. That happens. He brings
He
He
brings
brings
Ollie.
Ollie to the table. He
Yeah.
brings Ollie to the table.
Maybe we just need to like a core game of D&D. Okay, bring one Ollie the Orion sound.
No, D&D game. What do you have in your inventory? We got 3 rations. We got some hemp rope. We got an Ollie Orion sound. We got a. What do you have? Okay, I equip Ollie the Orion sound. Oh, you now have a bard in the party.
Yay!
Yeah. He really does bring the D&D feeling with him in his servers. But also fourth wall breaking at the same time. I don't know. That's it. I have opinions about him, mostly positive ones.
Yeah, I feel like the one thing Misadventures like does not have that D&D. I mean, honestly, it's something that lacks from any time you try and bring D&D into anything. Is this feeling of skill-based chance? It's like you need so much in terms of like dice rolls in order for D&D to feel like D&D. There's so many like really good tabletop RPGs that don't rely on such like you're rolling a dice and then you fail if the dice gives you a bad number. But I feel like the way Misadventures is handling it is much more like, yeah, no, we're replacing that dice with Minecraft, and that is how they're bringing it together.
May I bring up a half on topic thing?
Yes.
So, if you are familiar at all with my history, I've actually watched a lot of different roleplay things. I enjoy almost all forms of storytelling. Literally, like almost all forms of storytelling I have dabbled in one way or another. And you would be surprised on GTA roleplay, one of the favorite servers of GTA, they would roleplay as people in that world, and they would do things such as, I try to pickpocket you in text, not saying it out loud, and then the person will roll a dice, and if they get a 1, they got pickpocketed, just fully successfully. They would actually use dice in their roleplay in a gaming server. In a gaming server that really shouldn't be a roleplay server now that I'm looking back at it. But you know what? They did it well. I'm not gonna yuck their yum. But it is possible. It is possible, and it has been done before, but they bring that chance element into it. And I can see in it's not Empires, Misadventures, them adding some more, maybe not dice, but like skill points. I know Shovel has talked about she wants to skill up in a couple different, just continuing to call them skills.
Categories?
I've played so much D&D. Why am I blanking on this?
Classes? Proficiencies?
Well, proficiencies, classes, whatever. She wants to dabble in everything and be a jack of all trades, and has talked about leveling in different things, despite that not being a mechanic they've set up at this point in time.
I feel like we could like easily again like tie this into other servers of like, oh, this is how Empires did it, this is how Windcraft did it, this is how this and such did it. I'm like, this is not an original idea. Like so many other servers was like, I'm gonna bring 2 things that I love together. It's just that we're seeing it done in a way of like, yeah, and then you're going to have one world purely for this RP and another world purely for Minecraft, but we're going to bring it together. That is to me like the difference between the D&D world and the Minecraft world. It's like that's how we bring it together. That's what I haven't seen before. And now I've killed Andy. All right, so Andy has technical difficulties. Here is a quick ballad of Andy being lost. Andy.
What is happening? I can't.
Andy, you don't want to know, for I cannot sing, and yet sing I do, for we have lost you. And do you remember that one time we added that thing to that server where people just randomly show up, even if they weren't online? And I saw you, and I was very confused. And then you left, and I was alone.
What they came on me?
Again.
Could you hear that sentence? No, I
You
can't
were
hear
cutting
you
out a
again.
bit, but you sound
Okay,
extremely crunchy.
I heard you for like all of that, and now it's showing up again, and I can't hear you. Why is it picking and choosing?
Hey, Andy, tell me when you can hear me, and we'll jump into the Q&A with you being crunchy.
I can hear you.
All right, to the Q&A. A. Question number 1 from a person. What life series is your favorite and why?
It's a double life and wildlife.
Wildlife was pretty fun. I have such fond memories of Last Life, but I feel like if I was going to rewatch a season, I would not watch Last Life. I keep saying I need to go watch more POVs of Third Life, but that's technically not the question. I think I'll settle on Wildlife, but that might just because it's freshest in my mind. Question number 2 from that Blob. I have a question and a suggestion, so, we'll talk about that in a minute. Would y'all do an episode on Undertale? And I feel like we can definitely talk about, like, choice-based games in the future, but real quick, let's move on to the question, what soul trait would we be from that? Took a test and I got kindness. Now, Andy, do you remember the Undertale traits of the soul?
No.
No?
I got into Undertale late.
But did you play the game? You know that moment when, like, all the dead souls of the humans come out and they fight with you and all the hearts are different colors? Okay, so each color represents something. Orange is bravery, yellow is justice, red is determination. That weird, like, purpley pinkish color is perseverance. That dark blue is integrity. The light blue cyanic color is patience. Green is kindness. I don't know if white being love is official, but that's what I got.
I'm being perseverance for the branding.
You gotta stick with the purple. I mean, the way I handle work, it would either be determination or patience, because there are times at work where it's like a kid will just throw themselves onto the floor to avoid doing work, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting down the floor, I'm sitting with you, and we're gonna sit here until you do your work. Okay, and the final question is, do you have any, like, weirdly vivid dreams that you just kind of end up remembering due to the sheer weirdness factor of it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I had a dream about 5 years ago that Batman recruited me to fight people's demons while I was asleep, and that he would train me along with a bunch of other people, and we got to pick out our vigilante outfits, and during the night we would fight people's dreams. And I just remember 5 years ago Batman telling me I would fight off people's nightmares, and I never got rid of that. So I like to believe every time I go to sleep I'm fighting other people's dreams.
I had it, like, I guess it was like a semi-nightmare. It wasn't really. It was like the POV of watching someone holding a camera as they were, like, swimming through a river or something. It's like one person and another person's very, like, pseudo-documentary style. And, like, at one point, this, like, keep in mind, like, when I say river, I mean, like, less than a foot of water above you and less than a foot of water, like, maybe, like, maximum 5 feet of water below you. Like, it was a very, like, in my head, very shallow, very picturesque, almost like if brackish water was clear kind of environment. And at one point, the person who was, like, I don't want to say in front of me, but in front of, like, whatever perspective I was viewing, popped out of the water, took his, like, swim goggles off, and his eyeballs fell out. And I'm like, there was just this narration of, like, the pressure of the water was too much. And I woke up, I'm like, it was less than a foot deep. What? While you find your way out of that fishbowl, I'm gonna say goodbye to the peoples.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna mute myself and fix this.
All right, goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye, have fun saying
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of FanDive. We'll be back again next Monday diving into yet another fandom. Have a topic or question for the podcast? Head over to our website, fandive.tumblr.com. There you can also find any episode relevant images and general shenanigans that we get up to. It is Tumblr, after all. We're not afraid of being fans of things.